Well, congrats, Internet. I bought your dumb fan. So if you're not part of the Ryobi zeitgeist, if you don't participate in the Ryobi subreddits or the Facebook groups or message boards or TikToks or whatever, you may not have heard of this fan. And at first blush, it looks kind of like a normal battery-operated fan, right? No big deal. And that's because it pretty much is a normal battery-powered fan. There's nothing special about it. It doesn't mist water at you. There's no speakers. It doesn't have LEDs or anything like that. It's just a fan that's got a big old clip on it and it takes a battery. Now, if you go looking for this fan though, you will likely be hard-pressed to find it. They sell out pretty quickly in most local Home Depots. And honestly, I had convinced myself that I didn't need this thing. It's just a fan. What do I need a fan for? I got fans all over the place. Who needs another one? But so many people were so eager to get their hands on this thing, and it was so difficult to find in so many locations that when one popped up at my local Home Depot, I thought, why not? So now, if this is just a fan, why is it so darn popular? And I'll give you two reasons. First is that it's $19.99 MSRP. And if you look on Home Depot's site, that is the lowest MSRP of any 18-volt 1+ tool. There is one other tool that has a $19.99 MSRP, and that's the crappy little LED light from a gazillion years ago that's not a very good tool in my opinion. So as long as the thing doesn't totally crap the bed, $20 is not too much to drop on a battery-operated tool. And the second is this right here, the special buy while supplies last. Now, people have questioned Ryobi and Home Depot on what exactly this while supplies last mean. And what they've come back with is that they made a limited run for this year, and once that run is done, they're not making any more, except for maybe next year. And that kind of strikes me as like how production works. Like, they produce so many, they're not producing them now, but if it's popular, they'll produce some more and we can buy some more later. I'm a little disappointed in myself for giving in and buying this thing just due to the fanfare around it. And I think this special buy is like the badge of honor that says, hey, dum-dum, you really bought into this, didn't you? We really suckered you, didn't we? The thing is, I don't think you're never gonna see this fan again, given how it's flying off of shelves. It's likely to come back in some form or another. I mean, next year they might have a brushless version and charge you $60 more. So now I'm a little disappointed in myself for even buying this thing. I kind of swore up and down that I wouldn't give in to internet pressure and wouldn't buy into the fanfare over this limited quantity fan. But when I went to my local Home Depot and they had a few in stock, I thought, why not? It's $20, right? And I kind of justified the usage afterwards. I do some running, and I generally run on a treadmill, which has a fan built in, which is real good at cooling off like the section between like my belly button and my man boobs. Like that's where the fan kind of hits. It would be nice to have something that I can kind of position and cool the important stuff up in this area. And then after I run, I often sit at my computer desk where I have like a space heater on the floor that I turn on like non-heat mode just to get some fan going there, which is real good at cooling off my knees. Once again, would love to have something that I can pop on the table, blast me with cold air in the face. That's my $20 right there. And then a third usage occurred to me. I do a little bit of soldering on some of my electronics projects, and I do it right here in this room, and I'm usually hunched over a small Arduino or a small set of wires or something like that. And I'm not great about ventilating my work. So having a little battery-operated fan that I can just plop down, point it at it, get that solder smoke away, which is really nasty stuff if you're not aware. Great little tool for that as well. So what's this thing look like? Let's get it out of the package. Okay, well, there you have it. It's a fan. It's got a big old chonkers clip, which is great. It'll probably clip onto this desk well. This is a good 1.5-inch thick desk. It sits on the battery real well. It's adorable. It's a cute little fan. I believe it's a 4-inch blade. The head both twists as well as angles up and down, which is nice. It's got 2 speeds on a toggle switch up front. And it moves some air. If you can't tell, my hair would be blowing in the wind on high. It's not super quiet. That's what you'd expect kind of out of a 4-inch fan though, so nothing to be surprised about there. All right, so next steps, I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to use it as I described. I'm going to use it while I'm running. I'm going to use it after I'm done running, sitting at my desk. I got some soldering to do on another project down there. We'll see how it goes over the next few days, and then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. All right, folks, well, it's been a couple of weeks and I've been using this little fan almost daily and almost exactly how I thought I would. I've been using it sitting on my treadmill, blowing right in my face as I run. I've been using it sitting on my desktop, cooling me off after the run. I've used it while I was soldering, and I took it to the beach a couple of times and kept me cool in the hot Florida sun. So what to say about the fan? I mean, you get what's on the box. It's a battery-powered fan with a big beefy clip. It works great. I had no complaints. It's very convenient. You can just slap one of these small batteries in and go for a very long time. It connects to just about anything with this big old clip. Even the larger batteries, while they do kind of make it, the weight's off when you put on like a 3 or 4 amp hour battery, this clip is sturdy enough to hold it to at least horizontal surfaces. Vertical might be a challenge. So it'll take the bigger batteries. It's best with this little 1.5 amp hour battery though. And I got 2 hours and 6 minutes of runtime out of a 1.5 amp hour battery on low. So plenty of time out of a small battery. You can put a 3 on there with no problem and get probably twice that. Now on low, this thing moves a pretty good amount of air, and then on high, it kind of really blasts you pretty good. For my use cases, I don't really see myself using the high setting ever. Pretty much going to stick to the low. And it also gets a bit noisy. Even on low, it's a bit too noisy for quiet situations. Like I wouldn't want it running while I'm recording this video or something like that. My mates weren't able to hear it through my microphone on Discord while I was sitting on my desk. I think that's maybe more attributable to Discord's noise cancellation or the quality of my headset mic than it is to the fan, because it is kind of a little noisy. The shell and the clip are all pretty chunky. Like I would have no problem throwing this in the back of the truck or in the back seat for a camping trip or out to the beach or something like that. It's probably not going to get knocked around too badly. It's pretty solid. However, when I have it clipped to my desk, I can feel kind of an asynchronous rumble. Like you can always feel some vibration, because it's a motor and it's attached to your desk, so you're going to feel it. It sounds like maybe like there's a bearing that's not quite perfect, or maybe like one of the brushes are slightly out of adjustment or something like that. Nothing that's going to like kill the fan, but it may mean that this isn't exactly like a 20-year lifetime. You might have some limits on the longevity of this little fan. So pros and cons. First pro is going to be build quality. The shell and everything is chunky. You can throw it around and throw it in with your camping gear or your beach gear or something like that, and not worry too much about it cracking or breaking up or anything like that. The clip is big and beefy. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to break that clip unless you do something really dumb with it. So built pretty well for a little $20 fan. Second is the price. At $20, it's hard not to get $20 of value out of something as versatile as a fan. Like you can use the fan in so many situations, and $20 is so cheap for what you're getting. It's hard not to recommend it based on price. And the third pro is battery life. At 2 hours and 6 minutes out of a very tiny 1.5 amp hour battery, it's got some juice, and it'll last you through most sporting events, or if you're going to spend all day at the beach or something like that and just kind of sit there and have the fan blowing on you all day, then maybe you'll want to throw in a 3 amp hour. But 2 hours on a tiny battery is pretty darn good. On the con side, not too many. I'd say the asynchronous vibration's a little bit concerning. I'm not real worried about it, but it means I might only get 5 years of life out of it instead of 25. I'm okay with that for a $20 fan. And then the second part is that since it is very vertical, putting larger batteries on it does make it a bit awkward. 3's okay. 4, 6, 9, they're going to be a little bit wonky. And if you're just setting it down, fine. But if you're clipping it to something, it's going to be very bottom heavy when you do something like that. So overall, great fan. Glad I ended up picking one up, even though I swore up and down that I would not. I can't wait for the $60 brushless version next year that I can say I'm not going to buy and end up picking one up on a whim as well. So if you get the opportunity to buy this little fan, I'd probably take it. It's a great little device, and if you're already in the Ryobi One Plus family, why not, man? It's 20 bucks. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like. And if you liked my other videos, I would love it if you subscribed. And I will see you in the next one.